Employers everywhere are faced with concerns that arise from domestic abuse and violence. This video will help employers of all sizes recognize and respond to domestic violence abusers in the workplace.
Employers should care about domestic violence because it cuts across all aspects of life here in Maine. Last year, over 6,000 people were arrested for domestic violence, and employers lost millions of dollars in productivity, downtime, and exposure for lawsuits because of domestic violence.
78% of domestic abusers misuse workplace resources to harass, stalk, or otherwise commit domestic abuse and violence.
By addressing this issue in a proactive way, I think entrepreneurs and organizational leaders really go a long way at helping their organizations be successful by avoiding costs that they might have to deal with, by limiting legal exposure, and also helping your organization be effective by enabling their employees to be well and to be focused on the work at hand.
Through the presentation of 10 best practices, employers come to see how domestic violence can affect their business or organization, and what steps they can take to protect themselves and their employees.
Keith, this is a difficult conversation, but your supervisor came to me this morning out of concern because your coworkers are discussing your arrest over the weekend for assaulting your wife.
You've confirmed that you've sent over 20 threatening emails to your ex-spouse. Now, regardless of how this criminal matter goes, I want you to know that this sort of behavior is something that we will not tolerate in any of our employees. You understand that?
By adapting and using these best practices, employers can minimize the risks that domestic abusers present to the workplace.
For a victim of abuse, it's very empowering to know that they're not the only one who's saying to the perpetrator, what you're doing is wrong, and we won't stand for it.
You could have violence, you could have death, you could have disruption to your business. That's why you need to care about domestic violence in your workplace.